Okay, you finally get to play with this raw processor that has been annoying you for so long. Um, but a little history. I think back in CS3 was the first time. Well, it's the first time you were able to use it on JPEGs, and it's nothing short of amazing compared to what Photoshop was before some group of bright software engineers figured out how to do this. You can be like several stops off on your exposure and rescue it with this. Plus, uh, well, most, if not all, digital images can stand some work with Photoshop before they're really ready to go. Um, this should be, let's collapse this. It should look kind of like this when you open it up. And this edit up here at the top allows you to go to different profiles, you know, do it in black and white. This thing up here is a histogram, and on yours it'll probably look a lot like this. It's showing you different colors, and it's basically the spread of dark to light pixels. White's over here, so it's the little light colored um, triangle, and black is over here. And I can see I've got some blown out highlights, and my darks, there's a gap here, so I don't have a deep black. But I can fix that. It was a little overcast, a little drab. So open up. I can get temperature. I'll show you a big change when we go to do a portrait, because I had some really blue colored light falling on my subject, and I fixed it here. But you can play with these a little bit. Most of learning this is opening up these different panels and playing with them a little bit. But let's see what exposure does. I kind of like it a little bit darker. Contrast is kind of getting rid of the middle a lot of times, and making the darker lights whiter. And you can see I haven't really done much over here on either side. But let's play with the shadows a little bit. And this is darkening the shadows and highlights. Getting better here. I'm not sure if I want to play with it. Blacks and whites, it seems kind of redundant. Texture is another kind of contrast. I'm going to give it a little bit. Clarity is, and you can watch the histogram move. There it got sort of fuzzy. It's kind of a sharpener. And this one, dehaze, is relatively new. I really like this one. It can take some of the atmosphere out, and vibrance. Just play until you get what you like. Same with saturation. Saturation is oversaturated here, a little too bright, and I can turn it almost into a black and white. Yeah, you used this slider, although not with this, in the exercises. So I'm going to go back up here. Yeah, and you can slide around like this, but we'll go here. And another thing I might do is vignette this a little bit, darken the corners, and it done subtly where your viewer doesn't really notice you've done it. It does draw some attention to the subject here. And there's all kinds of things here you can play with. If you've ever seen the photographs where it looks like it's all black and white except for one color, this is how it's done. You just pull all these sliders except maybe the blues over here to 0, and you're just left with that color. But to really learn this, it's going to require a lot of playing. But initially, and most of the time, I'm just working with this one, unless I've got a color problem. There's some other things down here. I can sharpen a little bit in this, and when I sharpen, and we haven't gotten to that yet, but when I do, I sharpen both in the raw processor, and then I sharpen it again when we get to open it in Photoshop. But once I get it the way I like it, I can either click done, and it'll tell you here that it applies the changes you've made and doesn't open the image. Or here with open, like it says, I can open it, and I can also press some like option click and shift click to get some different things. I usually never mess with that too much, but that's the raw processor.